Once upon a time there was a young dragon named Drake who loved to read books. Every day Drake would wake up, have breakfast, and then fly to his favorite library to check out the latest books. The library Drake went to was inside a beautiful castle with tall towers and flags waving in the wind. Drake loved reading adventure stories, science books, and tales about dragons most of all. One morning Drake woke up and realized he had already read every single book in the entire library. "Oh no," Drake said, "now what will I read?" The little dragon was sad because reading was his favorite thing to do. He flew to the library and went inside. The halls were empty and all the shelves were bare. Every book Drake had loved was already finished. "There must be more books somewhere," Drake said to himself. He walked up to the librarian's desk and asked, "Excuse me, have any new books arrived lately?" The librarian shook her head and said, "I'm afraid we won't be getting new books for quite some time. Our book shipments have been delayed." Drake sighed a sad little dragon sigh. How would he read exciting new stories now? Drake flew out of the library and decided to go exploring. Maybe he could find new books somewhere out in the big world. He flew over the hills near the castle and through a forest with tall trees. He waved to the squirrels, deer, and birds along the way. Drake crossed a long bridge over a sparkling stream and looped through some mountains. But no matter where he looked, he could not find any new books. After many hours of searching, Drake was tired. He landed on a warm rock near a flowering meadow to take a nap. As Drake slept, he dreamed he was reading the most amazing book ever. It was filled with new adventures, cool facts, and awesome dragon tales. When Drake woke up he had an idea. Maybe instead of trying to find books, he could write his own. Back at the castle library Drake asked the librarian for some paper, a quill, and ink. He sat down at a little reading table and thought about what he wanted to write. The little dragon decided to write a story about a brave knight who meets a nice dragon. But instead of fighting, the knight and dragon become friends. Drake wrote about their adventures traveling around the kingdom together. The librarian let Drake check out the writing supplies overnight so he could keep working on his book at home. Drake worked very hard on the story. He drew some pictures to go along with the words. The little dragon was proud of his book when it was finally finished. He flew back to the library and presented it to the librarian. "I wrote my very own book," Drake said. The librarian read Drake's book and loved it. She put it on display at the library and soon all the villagers were reading the little dragon story too. Everyone thought Drake was a talented author. The librarian asked Drake if he would keep writing more books for the library. Drake was thrilled. He had solved the problem of having no new books to read by creating his own. Now Drake happily spent his days writing new stories and adventures to share with all the readers in the kingdom. He learned you can make your own fun if you use your imagination.